Did you know a dragonfly can live underwater for a year? Dragonflies lay their eggs in water, and when the larvae hatch, they live underwater for up to 2 years. They'll molt up to 17 times before surfacing and transforming into the dragonflies we see in the air. While underwater, they'll eat a large variety of food, including other insect larvae, tadpoles, fish, and yes, even other dragonfly larvae.
Hi, and welcome to Dragonfly 6. In Dragonfly 6, we're going to look at that double 5 movement, but this time in the reverse direction, in a subtraction. So let's go ahead and get started with this problem, where we start by adding 78 to the abacus. Next, we'll add 96. Okay, well, to add the 9 to the 7, that's a 10 pair. Add 1 to the third rod, and then subtract 9's 10 pair 1. Then to add 6 to the 8 on the first rod, again, that's a 10 pair addition. Add 1 to the second rod. Then I need to subtract 6's 10 pair 4 in the form of a 5 pair subtraction by subtracting 5 and adding 1. Next, I'm going to subtract 26. Okay, well, I subtract the 2 from the second rod. To subtract 6 from the first rod, well, that's a 10 pair subtraction. So I need to subtract 1 from the second rod. Well, to subtract that 1, I have to do it in the form of a 5 pair by subtracting 5 and adding 4. And then I need to add 6's 10 pair 4 to the 4 on the first rod, again in the form of a 5 pair by adding 5 and subtracting 1, for a final answer of 148. So pretty interesting. Let's try a second example starting with 91. And now we'll add 73. Well, to add the 7 to the second rod, that's a 10 pair. Add 1 to the third rod and subtract 7's 10 pair 3. And then just add 3 to the first rod. And then we're going to subtract 18. Well, let's take the 1 from the second rod. And now I need to subtract 8 from 4 on the first rod. Well, that's a 10 pair subtraction, so I have to subtract 1 from the second rod in the form of a 5 pair by subtracting 5 and adding 4. Then I need to add 8's 10 pair 2 to the 4 on the first rod, again in the form of a 5 pair by adding 5 and subtracting 3, for a final answer of 146. So I hope you're enjoying some of these interesting bead movements and having fun learning to do these problems on the abacus. See you next time. Hi, and welcome to the Dragonfly 6 finger movement training. So here we're going to look at this double 5 finger movement again, but this time we're going to look at it in the reverse. So let's put the number 54 on our abacus, and we want to subtract 6. So to subtract 6, well, you can see I only have 4 beads on my target rod, so that's a 10 pair subtraction. So I need to subtract 1 from the next rod left, but to do that, I have to do it in the form of a 5 pair by subtracting 5 and adding 4. And then on my target rod, I need to add 6's 10 pair 4 in the form of a 5 pair by adding 5 and subtracting 1 for my final answer of 48. So let's take a look at that one more time. So 54 minus 6, so I subtract 1 from the next rod left in the form of a 5 pair and add 6's 10 pair 4 in the form of a 5 pair. So as you can see, there were 2 5 pair movements there. But it all boils down to just a simple 10 pair subtraction, and you're just using these same finger movements over and over. So good luck with your training, and see you next time.
And yes, even other dragonflies.